We don't have to have Smarter Balanced as the assessment. There are other assessments that you could go get or choose. But it is the belief of the State Board of Education, who adopted Smarter as our assessment, that it's the best assessment. And I'll be honest with you, it's the assessment that I recommended to them because of those that are available to do against this. I think it is the best assessment. It's not a perfect assessment because there is no such thing.
So
right?
how does testing gets implemented? Understand, first year in, brand new, anything new, it's going to have a lot of kinks to be worked out. If you go through a couple cycles and the public gets wind, they're seeing their children going through this, teachers are saying this is a great test, this is a horrible test, what recourse does the state of Oregon, are you able to see the test and provide input? Is it copyrighted? Like, who's able to see it?
Yes.
What kind of
So Smarter Balanced is a nonprofit assessment, unlike the other assessment, the other consortium assessment, which is called the PARC assessment. So Smarter Balanced is a nonprofit. It used to be, it got some funding from the federal government to be created initially. And then it becomes part of a nonprofit, and now it lives at UCLA in a department that's called CREST. I don't know what CREST stands for, but that's where it is. And their job is to create the testing items and make sure that they're good and valid and that kind of thing. And then we purchase it and it gets scored. And it gets delivered by a delivery mechanism and all those kinds of things. So there's contracts for some of that stuff, right? But it's a nonprofit group down that's part of UCLA, the college. And that's part of the work that they're doing for us as part of a consortium of states. Right now, I think there are 20 states in the consortium. So there are 20 different states that are supporting this particular assessment, that have chosen this one as their assessment, and that the resources that we're paying really go to continue to develop this assessment. We contribute test items to Smarter Balanced. Teachers in the state of Oregon help create the test questions and get paid for having done that work. And then they go to a group who look at them, make sure that they're good questions, and the researchers in CREST add them into the assessment. They do some testing of them to make sure that they're good questions, and the assessment gets built. And so I'm probably oversimplifying some of that. Y'all maybe turn into your graves over there, but because they're sort of the testing experts. But in general, that's the way the assessment gets built. And so we look at it, we evaluate it on a regular basis. My hope, if I was going to say that I had some hopes about this, would be that they'd figure out ways to make it shorter. I think it's too long. If you look at the recommendations that we're making, it would be my hope that we would figure out some ways to not have assessment necessarily every year. We used to do assessment grades 3, 5, 8, and 11. I wouldn't mind 3, 5, 8, and 11. I also wouldn't mind some sampling, where instead of saying every student's going to take the test every year, we'll do some sampling of students so that we know what our progression looks like. Now, as a parent, I had 2 kids go through an Oregon system. When the results came back on their test, I was always really interested in what the results were going to be and if I thought they were on track or not, and if there was an area of weakness or strength.
Rob, you mentioned sampling. You're going to test 300,000 Oregon kids right away, and yet for some reason House Bill 2680 exempts schools and teachers from being judged on the basis of those results. And you're calling this an operational test. 300,000 kids is an operational test? How about a sample for that?
Well,
instead
you
of
got
every damn kid in the state.
So on that, you got me kind of coming and going, right? Because I got to think that what you really want, I think what you really want is to not have educators be evaluated by the assessment this time, and you also want to not have schools rated by the assessment this time.
Not me.
And I'm talking about you as the greater you, and or apparently what that
says. You know what it says.
I'm not going to get into a back and forth argument with you.